Joe Rogan used to be the biggest anti-establishment voice in the world.
We're going to look into Joe Rogan podcast, how Joe ruined his podcast and became a compromised individual.
Done zero research on this. You haven't looked into it at all. You're telling me we know all the animals that are in the world?
I asked you for evidence.
This is evidence.
A guy saying something is not real evidence.
Sure it is.
No, it's not. You're telling me stories.
I'm telling you
Stories suck. They're great.
See, this is how Joe used to be before he was a sellout, before he became a shill, before he started tap dancing for his rich friends. He used to stand up for something.
Campfires.
But recently, his audience has started to notice that something is very wrong about what the podcast has become today.
Everybody does.
Which people?
Countless.
People?
Huh?
What are you saying?
What do you mean people? You talking about
What are you talking about,
black
dog?
folks? What are you saying?
I don't know what you're saying.
I don't know what you're saying.
I don't know what you're saying.
Okay.
Let's not draw conclusions.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Since the start of 2026, Joe Rogan's podcast has lost around 800,000 viewers. And the most recent videos are filled with endless angry comments accusing him of being a compromised sellout. Even his own subreddit has turned against him. The tipping point...
Everybody knows he's a sellout though now. It's actually kind of sad. Joe used to be some guy who wasn't indoctrinated in religion and things like that. Now he's over here talking about the robot messiah coming. So we're watching something weird happening.
Of his fans was how he treated Theo Von in their last two episodes together. Theo infamously came on with genuine energy and emotion, talking about mass surveillance, conflict in the Middle East, and societal corruption, clearly looking to discuss these difficult and disturbing topics with someone he trusted. And if you watched this video we did on Theo before, you'll be well aware of how freaked out Theo Von is about these issues. But Joe spent both of these podcasts pushing back against Theo, constantly changing the subject and diverting to awkward jokes.
How much longer does Israel let us stay alive, do you think? That's the big question.
Why were they...
What did you say? Is that AI?
What are you saying?
That's Sora?
What are you saying?
I didn't say anything.
What are you saying?
Huh? Don't want Israel Adesanya.
Oh, well, he loves you. Don't worry about it.
Good call.
What are you saying, son?
Oh my gosh. He played dumb to the point he had to bring up Israel Adesanya. Like, he had to bring up Israel Adesanya because he caught the whiff in the air that Joe's not having that. Wow, it's kind of scary to be in Theo Von's position. I don't know. I kind of think Theo's a funny guy too. Like, he's actually like really funny. Like, I won't say like Dave Chappelle or anything, but he's funny. Joe Rogan's really not that funny.
Yeah,
so
was it so
what
much
did he
fun?
say? What did he say about the Epstein files?
What did he say?
Let's hear what he said. It looks great.
So that's what made me start to think, oh, none of these guys are really on a side. There's this other third side that a lot of us can't see that is just kind of commandeering
The puppet
or
master.
fabricating or like infiltrating both sides.
If I could hum a song right now, I'd hum the Pink Floyd song Money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's what they were protecting, that
Cheddar. That cash, baby.
protecting that cash. I mean, look how many people are fucking moving out of all these states that are trying to impose wealth taxes. They're trying to steal money from the people that are the most successful.
Framing wealth and
Oh my gosh. He's over here talking Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, Mark Zuckerberg. He's protecting them at this point. He's over here saying that the wealthy are moving out due to taxes and stuff like that when most of his wealthy friends don't even pay taxes. When's the last time Elon Musk paid taxes how he should? Or Trump? They don't pay taxes how they're supposed to. They work around that shit.
quality, stealing from the successful is one thing, but that had literally nothing to do with what Theo was trying to discuss. It was like Joe couldn't bear to validate Theo's concerns for the world. Instead, it ended with this.
But what also, it's like, it's all just a cat and mouse game. People are like, we'll elect the Democrats next time. It's like, but it's all the same shit has been.
Exactly, bro. Left, first, right, they don't care about you, man. I be saying this for the hard fans of the left and the hard fans of the right. It don't matter. Whatever president comes in, as long as it's these people at this age that they're at, it really doesn't matter. Their generations, they're more than 3 to 5 generations departed from the public, the mass public, the people in the workforce, the people that have to take their kids to school, the people that are filling the grocery stores and all of these type of stuff. Their generations departed from us, so they don't share our values. They haven't shared our life. It's a fact. It's factuals. And on top of it all, if you was to move any ideology from this country, the left or the right, we would still have the same problems because the people at the top have their own goals. They have their own agendas. It's been proven time and time again. So whether you're on the left or whether you're on the right, you're just digging through the dumpster and saying that the trash on the left is better than the trash on the right, and the trash on the right is better than the trash on the left. Either way, it's still a dirty dumpster, right?
Forever. They haven't been helping anybody forever. They're letting politicians slurp on kids. All of our money goes to Israel, and they're using it to genocide people. It's like everybody is scared out of their wits right now. It's like our religious leaders are afraid to speak out, and it's like it's a time where it's like Satan is amongst us, and our religious leaders are talking about bullshit at the poll. It's just like, what is going? I don't know, man.
We got to get you off those antidepressants, son. You're losing your fucking marbles.
You think I am?
Come hang out with us. Just chill out.
I'm here.
Rather than engaging with Theo's points or supporting him as a friend, Joe just outright says he sounds insane, referencing his medication as the reason for his anxiety about the state of the world. But before we continue, I want to tell you about our video sponsor, Chat. It's just $10. Theo, we got you. This is like the Truman Show when he finds out even his best friend is lying to him. Joe shutting down and mocking Theo for making very valid points should be the title for this one. Using Theo's use of antidepressants to gaslight him was such a low blow, and it was profoundly eye-opening. Joe Rogan, who's dedicated 1,500 episodes to alien conspiracies, won't even talk about Palantir and Israel conspiracies for more than 5 seconds. 2013 Joe would spit in this Joe's face. So,
did Joe kiss the wall? Did Joe kiss the wall?
Eventually apologized to Theo in a later podcast.
So I wanted to do this because, number one, because I feel bad. And whenever I feel bad about something, and I felt bad all weekend, I feel like I have to address this, where I just want him to be okay. A very unusual and very amazing person. The last thing I'd ever want to do is hurt that guy. And the last thing I'd ever want to do is say something that would have people think about him in a negative way, which I'm sure I did. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to make.
You definitely did. You came outside onto the big internet, the interwebs, right? You went to the interwebs and told them that your friend is crazy when he brought to you a real problem that's happening in the world that has a money trail behind it. It has a money trail behind it. It has a voting trail behind it. It has politicians saying things, backing it in black and white. And you had the audacity to get up on these interwebs and tell him he's tripping.
Video.
Specifically for referencing Theo's mental health struggles in another podcast episode. This apology was actually not in its own video. It was tagged on at the end of the episode with the billionaire Mark Andreessen, who is one of the world's biggest financiers of AI surveillance and drone.
And then when did he start getting all of these rich people on his show, bro? What happened to like the kooks? You used to have kooks come on there. Like, you had one guy come on there talking about the pharaohs and all types of weird stuff, time travel, Charlie Manson cases. That's when I used to watch Joe Rogan, when they used to talk about this out of the box stuff, FBI stuff, MK Ultra, stuff that really happened that got brushed under the rug. And Joe didn't act like a crazy man when they heard the shit. Well, he didn't act like an NPC. I won't even say a crazy man. Because your average NPC, if you tell them the stuff, they're going to act how he's acting.
there. And there was something really bizarre and kind of insensitive about apologizing to Theo in the very same episode he lets a billionaire openly advocate for mass surveillance, transhumanism, and sympathy for the elite class. All the things that Theo was rallying against. Joe seems to love to push back against his friends, looking for an honest chat, but he can't bring himself to challenge the powerful people that got us in this situation in the first place, even when they're right in front of him.
So everybody, I see this with my 11-year-old right now. Like everybody who grows up now is going to have AI as a augmentation, companion, capability, superpower, right? That they're going to have. Where all of a sudden they have their own capability, and then they have this enormous other additional capability. And every time they need to figure something out, or every time they need to fill in a form, or every time they need to make an argument, or every time they need to try to just figure out a course of action, all of a sudden they have the ability to tap into this resource that can really help them solve just an extraordinary number of problems.
This Mark Androsine is one of the biggest funders of military drone programs. So why did Joe never ask Androsine about the drone program during this episode? Not even once. Instead, they went on for hours misrepresenting the critics of mass surveillance and AI, lecturing the public.
It's honestly kind of sad because Joe could have capitalized on a lot of opportunities with these rich people we had on this podcast, because most of these rich people are building bunkers. The ones that come on Joe Rogan's podcast are building bunkers while they know what's going on in the world right now. He never questions them about that. I never heard him ask them a question on why you got a bunker.
About how the billionaire class is treated unfairly, which clearly represented a major conflict of interest, as not only does Mark Androsine have huge financial investments in these industries,
bro, I gotta chill, but he really do look like Humpty Dumpty, bro. It's crazy.
He's also an advisor to the CEO of the AI company Perplexity, which is actually one of the biggest sponsors of the podcast. It's why Joe has to use it constantly on air to answer questions. Although his community says he's selling out, but this doesn't necessarily mean that Joe is doing this on purpose. Maybe he really is just unaware of the topics people bring up on his podcast. I mean, that's certainly consistent with how this conversation went with Theo Von.
Dude, in Gaza, there was a lot of I think it was a experimental grounds for a lot of insane new warfare type of possibilities.
Well, a lot of it was traditional missiles, right?
Yeah, but there's a lot of we had a doctor one time podcasting, and he was saying that there were bullets that had gone down a child, just crazy,
shot down, from a drone that's above them.
Yes, something in the air. And he said that there were drones in the air all day. There's that Palantir company just keeping tabs on everything that was happening. And
Palantir's involved in Gaza?
Palantir was involved in Gaza, yeah.
For sure? Mm-hmm. Put that into perplexity.
It would suit Joe to be oblivious to this, considering the billionaire behind Palantir, Peter Thiel, has in fact been a guest on the podcast.
And he never questioned him about it. He never questioned Thiel about that, or about the other suspicious things he's done in his career, which there's a list. So, there's that much.
Even been to his house not once but twice, and has a very friendly relationship with him. Which begs the question, is Joe intentionally protecting him?
The humans are on the way out. I know a lot of people hate it when Peter Thiel says it, Peter Thiel is a terrible person, he's evil.
You think he is?
No, I think he's just telling you the truth. I think he's, when they said, do you think human beings should survive? And he had this long pause.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And then the interviewer was like, the answer is yes. The answer is yes. You think human beings should, which is not how you're supposed to do an interview. Well, at least not how I do it. I would let him talk as long as he wants. If you watch my podcast I did with him, is these long ass stammers where he's like, everything he does. He wants to be.
Bro, I have not seen him stick up against one of these oligarchs once. He hasn't, at least if they was. If they said they like white chocolate and he don't like white chocolate, he hasn't even said nothing like that. No disagreements, nothing, bro. It's crazy.
Be careful before he answers it. So he wants to consider what he's saying.
This becomes even stranger when you realize that Peter Thiel was one of the early investors in Spotify during crucial rounds of raising funds. Spotify is, of course, the same company that offered Joe.
Follow the money. Follow the money. Oh, come on, man.
in the $200 and $250 million contracts to host his podcast on their platform. There's no way to know for sure if these are relevant connections, but it does go to show how all of these same repeat guests are somehow linked through the same people, the same companies, the same industries, and the same power structures. But that's only scratching the surface of these bizarre connections. Peter Thiel is an alarming figure not only for the military AI and surveillance programs of Palantir, but also for his connections to CIA funding, his obsession with the return of the Antichrist, and his infamous belief that all industry should be monopolized.
And then that's the thing about these rich people. He don't believe in no Antichrist. He don't believe in the Antichrist. But he know there's people that do believe in the Antichrist. There's people out here that's willing to do things behind religion to this day. So they're going to use religion. He's going to use religion. And then they're going to use these AI robots as like some savior. There's going to be a savior complex with the robots and stuff like that. It's coming. It's definitely coming.
Not to mention his possible friendships and connections to Jeffrey Epstein. Epstein even described Peter Thiel as a great friend. They met in person multiple times a year. And Epstein invested $40 million into Thiel's venture capital fund. Epstein also actively pushed Thiel's rising political influence. Now, Joe did bring up Epstein during the podcast, only for Thiel to downplay the involvement of foreign intelligence agencies and Epstein. Seemingly at the moment, there's no public witnesses that allege Epstein worked for the CIA, but there have been multiple witnesses to say Mossad was the key player involved in the operation, including Victor Maria Farmer, Epstein's business partner Stephen Hoffenberg, and the ex-Israeli spy handler Ari Ben-Menash.
I went down all these rabbit holes. Was he, working for the Israelis or the Mossad or all this sort of stuff? And
he just said he worked for the Israelis and the Mossad. Okay. Like I told you, them people at the top don't care about us, but okay.
I've come to think that was very secondary. It was obviously, it was just the U.S. If you're working for Israel, you don't get protected. We had Jonathan Pollard. He went to jail for 25 years or whatever.
He looked crazy.
But unrelated, right?
Understood, but if it was an intelligence operation, the question we should be asking is what part of the U.S. intelligence system was he working for?
This episode was the perfect opportunity for Joe to push Thiel about Palantir, mass surveillance, Epstein, or transhumanism and AI. The list of topics his audience wanted him to ask was near endless, but instead the podcast episode seemingly fell flat. Yet it's not just about Peter Thiel, far from it. After the physicist Lawrence Krauss came on the podcast, he later tried to personally introduce Joe to Epstein via email, and Joe rightfully rejected this, calling out he had no interest in ever meeting Epstein to begin with, which is something most celebrities can never say. And then there's the celebrity doctor Peter Attia, who constantly messaged Epstein and routinely gave him medical advice. In the files, he emailed Epstein saying, "The biggest problem with becoming friends with you, the life you live is so outrageous, and yet I can't tell a soul."
He not in jail. He not in jail. He gotta be in jail. I'm willing to bet you he not in jail though. Oh, this is a crazy world.
He was on the podcast 2 times in the last year, and yet the topic never came up. In fact, Epstein wasn't even mentioned once. But of course, there is valid discussion to be had about if a connection to Epstein means you were complicit in his crimes, and the short answer is obviously not. Just because all of these guests are connected to Epstein doesn't necessarily mean they were involved with any of the crimes. But the real question is if they knew something was up. Just look at what Cindy McCain said about how everyone around him knew exactly what was happening.
It's like everything, it hides in plain sight. Epstein was hiding in plain sight. We all knew about him. We all knew what he was doing. But we had no one that was, no legal aspect that would go after him. They were afraid of him. For whatever reason, they were afraid of him.
These were the...
Talking about something we all knew, and for whatever reason, they was afraid of him. In translation, in between the lines, she's saying that my rich friends or my rich people that I know, rich peers and shit, did business with Epstein. And some of them have more power than us, so we couldn't do nothing about it. It's pretty much, we still need the open door for business with them. That's how rich people think. It goes all the way back to kings and queens, man. I'm trying to tell you, they'll move a mountain to keep a business door open, okay? It's just been like that.
that Joe Rogan's community thought he would start asking the tough questions, as he was now face to face with the very establishment he used to rebel against, the establishment that tried to destroy his life many times over. His fans assumed he would call out the corrupt forces of the modern world live on air, as he'd done this for almost a decade previously. But weirdly, it never happened. Instead, unlike the old Joe Rogan, he would routinely invite this elite group onto his show just for hours of friendly chat, with many people wondering if it ever occurred to Joe that maybe these people aren't his friends. Maybe they have alternative motives for getting a direct line to his millions of fans. But it's not as if people haven't tried to warn him of this.
Didn't you get invited to have lunch or something, or dinner with Peter?
Yes, I said no.
Did you?
I said no. I'm a little wary of that circle of people. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying there's anything inherently evil about them, because obviously there's people in there. I don't know that I want to go to a dinner with someone who's going to talk endlessly about the Antichrist.
But yet you'll go to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, of course.
And he don't believe in the Antichrist. He's just going to bring some living volition of the Antichrist, okay? These rich people, they will read these books and shit, right? And they won't see the stuff happening in real life, and they got the money and power to make it happen, so they will make it happen. Okay, it just is what it is, bro. They see stuff in the Bible and in those other scrolls and whatnot, and they want to make it happen with their money and power, bro. So then they can feel like God themselves. I'm trying to tell you.
Of course.
I've been to Peter's
It's like
house
in
twice.
the animes, bro.
Full
Fullmetal Alchemist. I keep harping on that. We're living in the real life.
And then the
Fullmetal
second time he
Alchemist,
brought
bro.
me in because they were going to have lunch with Eric Von Daniken.
Oh, the guy, the Chariots of the Gods.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm in. And I know so much about that. So
Yeah.
I was asking him all these questions.
I'm sure he's a very nice guy. Like Peter Thiel. People
He's a
that
nice
know
guy.
him
I've
go,
had
he's
him
a
on the
nice guy.
podcast.
He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
I get invited to a lot of dinners and a lot of things. And what I try to do is I try to say to myself, I need to be able to criticize people and
Right.
make fun of them.
Right.
So, it felt like really weird to go to this guy's house and then shit on him the next day.
Do you think that's part of the strategy of inviting you to go to places?
Yes.
Yeah. I
Most
think so,
likely.
too.
But it
Yeah.
doesn't work because I can't shut my mouth. I can't shut my mouth. So, I mean, I've said things, people in my own family get mad at me because I can't shut my mouth.
Yeah.
So it's certainly not going to work. If you're a billionaire invites me somewhere, it's not going to work. So then you're probably going to have to kill me, and I'd rather you not.
The biggest warning.
Oh shit! See, he's actually kind of funny too. Joe's not that funny. I'm not even like talking shit for. He was a cool guy when he was introspective, and he used to get on his guests that used to come up there and try to bullshit. That version of Joe was a killer, man. Then he'd be kind of funny. But now the fake acting like you don't know what's going on, like you don't know the type business these people be doing. Peter Thiel had a lover thrown off the roof or something like that, or like his like boyfriend's lover or some shit like that. He had him like gone, allegedly. Who knows? But allegedly, his they was doing something behind his back, and he got rid of it. It wasn't happening no more, or someone got rid of it, or the person just vanished. Who knows, bro? So the things he's saying is they hold real valid weight.
Recent, it was way back in 2020 from his close friend Duncan Trussell. Now it seems almost prophetic.
You're in a really brutal position. Like, and no matter what, I don't see how you can resist it. Like, the problem with your position is you have this like powerful voice. That's the problem. Is like you're a signal booster, and like
I also got a NASA suit and I can hold my piss for 4 hours, son.
a deeper point, man. And I don't mean to do this every time I'm on,
But
you have such a crazy power that if you're not careful, folks from deep, dark wells of perspective are gonna infiltrate your shit. Dude.
See, I just said this like 5 minutes ago, bro. He could have capitalized on these opportunities if he spoke the minds of the public when these people came up on this show. If he did that when Mark Zuckerberg came up on there saying, if he asked him, What's with the government program shutting down and you creating Facebook the same day? What's up with these bunkers still? What's the real idea behind Planeteer? Why do you think there's an Antichrist? Do you even go to church? Like, he could have asked all of these type questions. He could have capitalized. He could have got fantastic clips that would have been immortalized. They would have lasted forever. But he threw all that out the window so he could go to Peter Thiel's house twice.
If you look at how his content has changed over the years, it's no wonder his audience feels betrayed. Conversations have been dumbed down and sanitized, the range of guests has narrowed, even entire episodes have been deleted. Now fringe and alternative voices are in the minority. In their place, he's hosting government agents, powerful billionaires, and Epstein associates as regular guests. But not to grill them with the tough questions.
And Lex Friedman's a fraud. He said he went to MIT. He never went there. I don't want to say most of these guys are frauds, but a lot of them tend to be frauds. Elon Musk is no genius. He never created nothing. He's no Nikola Tesla. He's closer to Thomas Edison. He's a great businessman. I give him that much. Like, he's a good businessman, bro. He's done made some good business decisions. But inventor, creator, one of the greatest minds is something he's not. He's just some guy that had a lot of money and made some good choices. Thiel might actually be smart. Mark Zuckerberg, he's probably smart for real. I'm not gonna lie. He was doing techie shit before he even became famous. Like the Social Club movie and all of that whatnot. I don't know if it's true, but he was already an interesting character. But yeah, these people not to be trusted.
Once answered. More often than not, these episodes are shallow, friendly conversations with the very people Joe once fought against. What was once a platform for stoned conspiracy theorists, with a huge range of weird, interesting ideologies, is now just a tiny group of polished elite guests that just give the same talking points every single episode. It seems clear that one of the moments that could have influenced this change was the Spotify deal, when over 300 hours of content was deleted from the catalog over a period of 2 years. Infamously, one of the biggest targets of this takedown was Alex Jones. He was wiped from both Spotify and YouTube, likely meaning he will never return to the podcast ever again, even though he had some of the biggest podcasts in Joe Rogan history, with some episodes gaining over 10 million views, which seemed like a crazy slap in the face for everyone.
And I don't mind if I don't know why they took Alex Jones off Spotify and YouTube. He was funny as hell. He's a kook box, whole tweak box. It's hilarious. And he's gone full blown against the brown and black people and shit. You know how these people, how they start saying, when they start saying that shit, start saying brown and black people, you know, you gotta watch him a little bit. But he's still Alex Jones. He hasn't changed up like Joe fully and shit. He's full character.
Thought his podcast was free from censorship and curation. Back in the 2000s, before the deal, Joe was constantly warning about censorship and media suppression.
Dangerous towards the marketplace of free ideas. The marketplace of ideas it's extremely important, and I would think that if anybody would know that, it would be the people that are involved in tech.
You would think so.
Yeah.
Even so, there's no smoking gun for Joe Rogan being a compromised asset. In fact, overall, Joe Rogan has been one of the most important people, taking down the media and legitimizing independent creators. But for many people, the real turning point was when the UFC's Dana White revealed how he pushed Joe to endorse Trump in the 2024 election.
If I understand, you called Rogan as the campaign between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump was winding down. You called Rogan, I think. And you said, are you going to endorse or not? What happened?
Yes.
Tell me about that conversation.
I was flying to
another sneaky snake right here. Little slimy motherfucker. Dana White is a thug. He's a gangster, at the least, to say that. Did you see? You know how he be treated as fighters? You got UFC fighters that still DoorDash. They fight in the UFC as a professional and they still DoorDash. They are soccer coaches and janitors and shit. Come out here, get a tooth knocked out, a black eye, $10,000 and he sent them on their way. But you say that to some of the people that love this man, and you're a hater, you're this, you're that. I just feel like the fighter should get way more money, to be totally honest with you.
Chicago, me and Frank Fertitta, for election night. And he had done the podcast, and the podcast was blowing up, pulling huge numbers. And I texted him and said, "Are you voting for Trump?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "Then endorse. Why have you not endorsed him?"
What did he say?
He said, "I'm just busy. I'm this, I'm that."
I'm busy.
Yeah.
He said, "I'm busy?"
Yeah.
Please. So what happened?
He endorsed.
You think, so that was you. It's on you.
Is it on me?
But you gave him the extra shove.
Yeah, well, I had been working on him for a few years.
I had been working on him for a few years certainly seems like an odd way to put it. And this pressure has clearly worked. Joe has visited the White House.
Oh, Lord. Joe's right there? For real? Oh, yeah, he's going full sellout. He's going full sellout. He know both sides are evil. What are you doing?
On multiple occasions, once for a tour and an executive order photo shoot.
You're at the White House. Yeah, he's disconnected from the people now. He don't care about the people. He's in the club. That's why he's talking all that AI stuff. And when he's talking all that AI stuff, I don't think he really thinks. I mean, he might really think AI is the next coming of Jesus and whatnot. But I feel the reason why he's saying that is because they showed him some real high tech shit. Like, they showed him some, like, Megan Fox human-like robot or some shit. Some floating marine robot with lasers and shit could take out 100 men. They probably showed him some real exquisite shit that they have not shown the public.
It's all the time now.
I've been there a couple times. Yeah, it's weird. It's very weird. It's also very weird because as much as people hate Trump and hate his decisions and hate what he's doing and hate how he talks, and my experiences with him personally have always been fun, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unfortunately for everybody else. Like, you know, if he likes you and you're on his good side, he's a fun guy to be around.
Yeah.
He says a lot of fun shit.
Bro, that should not be how you talking about the president of a fucking America, bro. Who gives a fuck if he likes you and does fun shit? You're supposed to care about if he's good at running the country. And Trump has been terrible. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't think he was gonna be this bad when he became president. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's just shit show. Okay? And then the worst part about it, I knew it was just a shit show all the way around. But the worst part about it is when he was asked about it and he literally said that he doesn't care about the American people, or he doesn't care how high gas is or how high groceries is. And that was one of his pitches on becoming president. And this guy is talking about having fun with the guy. Like, what is going on, bro?
Man loves America. He genuinely does. He really does. Like, he wants to make the White House look better. He wants to build this ballroom because he has good intentions in terms.
The ballroom has a bunker in it. The ballroom has a bunker in it.
America.
On this podcast with Cameron Haynes, he tells Joe what may seem obvious relating to the executive order on land ownership. That these photo ops are more about getting public endorsements from influencers rather than actually trying to help the country.
You know, remember the Epstein files where all the influencers had the binder?
Well, it was Pam Bondi.
Yeah, but
and there was there was a few other influencers.
But
right?
they can use people like us for their messaging.
Uh-huh.
And then they invited me back again after. Now I've been pretty critical of this administration just because I care, and it's just like I don't have to agree with lockstep with the person I voted for. That's our right as citizens to be like, I voted for that, but I don't agree with this, and I'm not happy about this, and I want.
This sounds like a real person that fell for the malarkey. This person right here fell for the malarkey, and he seen that he was getting played with right in his face, and he actually has grievances. But Joe Joe doesn't have any grievances because Trump is a fun guy. Sellout.
And Trump signed an executive order, something about public land. And all it was a pomp and circumstance photo op to get executive order. Nothing has happened to it. Nothing has happened with it. No action's been taken. It was like, all it was just they could make a press clipping out of it.
Theater.
It sounds like the exact same situation with Joe's visit to the White House, when Trump signed an executive order for ibogaine usage in treating veterans for PTSD and opioid addiction. Obviously there's nothing wrong with endorsing a politician, but what was strange is that just 2 years before the election, Joe said he didn't endorse Trump and would never try to help him. And that's not the only political change that has happened over the years. Joe was almost always apolitical. He didn't really take sides with specific parties, but instead specific policies. He was pro-weed legalization.
See, that's how I feel like 90% of... I feel like that's how 90% of Americans should be. I think we should be no side and worry about policies, worry about actually fixing things in the country, policies and legislation. We should be that minded. Because these people will get into office, they will sell us dreams over and over and over again. And then they take the dollars from these type people that are coming on the Joe Rogan podcast because they have deep pockets. And the worst part about it is the people that have even deeper pockets that don't come on the Joe Rogan podcast because they don't want to be behind camera. And you know what about them? They're putting money in the president's pocket too. Okay? Let me tell you that.
Free speech, gun rights. Heavily anti-war and skeptical of the government. He was also fully on board with many popular conspiracies at the time, and due to his podcast, many people learned about new things in the world, new perspectives, new truths that would never be told by the mainstream media. He even released a whole montage on his official YouTube channel in 2014, which lays it all out clear as day.
This society is so greedy, we're willing to go to war. We're willing to go places and send these big metal machines that kill people and people up just so we can make more money. And the way our society is set up, I mean, I've heard it argued, and argued successfully, that our society runs on war. You know, it runs on the domination of the other parts of the world. And literally, that's the only way you can control a gigantic chunk of the globe. You have to keep everybody down. You know, and that's what our society is based on.
Cut to today, and Joe is making excuses for the war in Iran and the various corrupt actions of the establishment that flies in the face of what he used to believe.
What is this, Jamie?
The golden beeper gift that Netanyahu gave to Trump.
That's hilarious. He gave him a beeper. That's pretty gangster. That's right up there with the auto pen picture replacing Biden's picture.
That's wild.
That's pretty crazy.
That's crazy.
It's not cut and dry. Like, look, I'm the last person that thinks we should go to war. That regime is spooky.
Clearly, some of the principles he had in the...
Bro, we should never go to war with no Muslims. The Muslims been fighting forever. They've been fighting before America was created. They've been fighting before a lot of countries were created. They've been fighting before them holy books was created, okay? They've been fighting ever since them holy books was created. Their spirit for fighting and war is way deeper than anything we can really manage. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. Like, we could drop endless bombs on them, we could destroy their infrastructure, but with them it's inshallah. To death. I'm trying, inshallah. Allah Akbar and all of those, bro. Like, that's how they rolling. Living by that.
Have been changing. The problem is those are the principles that made him so popular in the first place. It was why the mainstream media would do everything they could to silence
them over there. If you don't see their kids, if they don't get to see their kids, it's inshallah, God willing, man. It was God's will, and they'll take it on the chin. It's different living, man. But this is Joe Rogan shelling out, being tap dancing for his rich oligarch friends. He's turned his back on society. Yeah, it is what it is, though, right? Who cares?